Hey, welcome to the Hardscape Huddle, and we have a special event here we're doing. We are at Staffa Stone Open House. It's October, beginning of the fall season here. Today I'm standing with Sean from Alpha, who's one of our vendors here today. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
I appreciate you giving up the time to be here. Today feels like this is our first NFL broadcast, and I'm John Madden. You could be Pat Summerall or
I'll take
maybe
it. I
Joe
like
Buck.
maybe Tom Brady.
I don't know if you're that good. So let's talk about Alpha and what brings you in here today. We sell a lot of different porcelain tiles, and we always recommend your blades and your core drill bits and things like that. So how long has Alpha Tools been around, and tell me about who you are.
Yeah, so Alpha's been around since about 1986, a little more than 37 years.
Wow.
We started off in the tile and stone industry. After perfecting all the tools there, it's allowed us to seamlessly transition to hardscapes outside in the last few years. So we have a lot of experience with porcelain tile. It's allowed us to move there quickly.
Yeah, and are your products only used for porcelain tile, or can we use them for anything else?
No, so while we do have a great line of porcelain products, we can do any kind of pavers, natural stones, anything that you want to cut, drill, profile, or polish, you can use Alpha for it.
Oh, that's awesome. And what makes Alpha special? Is it the diamonds? Is it you guys are importing, making your own, or what have you?
Yeah, so Alpha, we have a dedication to quality. So we don't like to just import some blades from overseas and slap our name on it and call it ours. We have a headquarters up in North Jersey where we have an R&D facility there as well. So what makes Alpha different is that we make all of our own blades and have them contract built for us. So what we do is we use lots of different blades, we test everything, and we get the best of all of them combined. And then we make each blade specific for each different material to optimize the life of the material, the life of the blade, and optimal cutting.
Oh, that's fantastic. So the blade is primarily packaged here in the United States and all of that. So it's stored here. There's never a backlog of product.
No, we have a large warehouse at our headquarters, so we have plenty of stock all the time.
That's good. And I know for us, that's a big thing because we are a Jersey-based company, and it works out well for us because the timely, right? Sometimes guys get on these big porcelain or natural stone jobs, and they sell us out of material real quick. So getting that lag time is big for us.
Yeah, so we keep everything fully stocked, and we like to try to ship everything out as quick as possible. Most times, if not all, we try to ship it out same day that you put the order in to get it to you as quick as we can.
And then other than bits and blades, I know we sell some polishing kits for you as well.
Yeah, we're able to profile all different types of stone, all different types of porcelain. You can make it into full bullnose, half bullnose. We can knock off edges, a little modern eased edge. And anytime you do any type of profiling, we can polish it back to factory finish.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And one last thing I want to bring up is your customer service. So we've had some issues in the past where people didn't necessarily know how to utilize your product and natural stone and some porcelain tile. And we had some breakage on it. And let's face it, it's a learning curve for all of us. And I just want to point out to all the viewers that it was easy to get you out to the job site.
Yeah, like I said, we focus a lot on quality, not just on selling you the products, but ensuring that they perform the best and you get the best out of them. So we have no problem bringing contractors in to our facility. You can train there. And I also have no problem coming out to any of my dealers and doing some on-site training in the field or at your headquarters as well.
So we're going to actually do some online training here today, or in the field training, I should say. It feels like a college game day, so to speak. You got horns blowing in the background. No, we just need the live audience behind us, you know?
Yeah, we're ready to go.
All right. So later on, you're going to show us, or in a moment, you're going to show us here how to cut tile, how to drill. You're going to show us some polishing and bullnosing?
Yeah, we're going to cut some porcelain. We're going to bullnose it. We're going to polish it back up to the finish. We're going to cut some stone. We can bullnose the stone as well. We also have some nice drill bits that are easily to go through porcelain and stone as well.
Oh, beautiful. Let's go take a look.
I appreciate it. Let's go.
Well, before I was able to interview Sean over there, and we picked up Dave on the way back, so that's a good thing. You are going to show us how the Alpha Tools works on some porcelain tile from Landmark and some natural bluestone. Looks like we're set up to do some coping. Is that true, Dave?
Correct. We're going to do some edge treatments. Alpha Tools has all the tools you need to do custom fabrication in the field. We're working on porcelain tile and bluestone, as Kyle said. And what Sean's going to do is he's going to cut through this piece of porcelain tile right here. He's using our G-tape to prevent chipping.
Oh, that's not regular painter's tape.
No, it's not. G-tape actually has a acrylic base. It rips straight every time. It doesn't leave a residue when you rip it off the stone after you're done, and also it's waterproof. The other advantage to it is, as you see, Sean used a Sharpie to make a mark there, so when he rips the tape off after the cut, there'll be no mark on the porcelain. Sean's going to cut through using our ESC 150 circular saw. He's using our Katana tile blade. He's going to cut through it nice and slow. There is no such thing as fast cutting in porcelain. You have to go nice and slow, especially at the very end, which you're going to see slows up quite a bit. We're also going to be doing, after we make that cut, we'll be doing an edge treatment. So we'll put a bullnose, full bullnose on this piece of tile. And the way we're going to do that is using our VSP 320 polisher with a 3/4 inch profile wheel.
Now, can we cut this with any circular saw?
You cannot. It has to be a wet or dry circular saw. If you're going to cut dry, you're going to want to use a vacuum, which helps cool the blade. And a regular circular saw, like a 7 1/4 inch circular saw, will not have the power to push through a piece of porcelain.
So these are spinning at a certain RPM.
Correct.
Okay.
And they have the power to do so.
Okay. And let's remember, in a past interview, we spoke to Andrew from Landmark. Porcelain tile comes in somewhere around 53,000 PSI. So it's a big difference than a regular concrete paver.
That's correct. Yes, it's a lot denser. It's a lot harder. It's much more difficult to cut through. When you're cutting through porcelain, it's much harder than a piece of concrete, which you can cut through pretty much like butter.
Okay. Well, we're ready when you are, Sean. As you can tell, Sean has all his safety equipment on.
Great job.
Yeah, great job. Cut right through. We didn't chip or break anything.
Since all porcelain is different, every single piece doesn't cut like that.
What'd that take, about a minute or so to cut?
I'd say, yeah, 30 seconds, 45 seconds.
Okay.
There are tips that you can use if you're having issues at all. If you're getting cracks or breaks or chips, there's all sorts of tips that we have, and Sean can help you out with that, being the local rep, on how to work through anything that, any problems that you might have. But overall, you can see he did it in one pass. It was pretty quick and pretty clean.
Yeah, no, very, very clean. 45 seconds to a minute to
say,
cut.
Yeah,
and going slow and wet is the key.
Yeah, the key is to keep the blade cool. So if you're forced to go dry for whatever reason, you're in a situation where you can't use water, the best bet is to have a vacuum hooked up to the saw. This is a wet, dry saw. It can go either wet or dry. And you hook that vacuum up to it. The air rushing past the blade helps cool the blade, which simulates what you're doing with water.
So while Sean's changing that hose over, getting assistance from the Landmark reps, so we thank you very much, Cole. Let's talk about a problem that we've always had, and that's drilling porcelain. Okay, a lot of people want to wet lay the porcelain around pool decks and on the front porches. I've brought Sean out to job sites to teach everything. So that goes back to the customer service end of things. So again, thank you to Alpha for that. How should guys be drilling the tile for the pool grommets and the pool handrails?
So the proper bit is very important. You have to have a diamond bit that's made to drill through porcelain. It's very important. The second thing you want to, when you're doing grommets, the pressure from the snow load on the pool cover will put a lot of pressure on that grommet. If you know the pool covers, they have the springs on them. The snow load pulls the springs. And in my experience, over the winter, you'll get that grommet putting pressure on the porcelain and actually cracking the porcelain. So if it's set in place, you drill your hole through it, use the right bit to do that, either the electroplated bit or the laser welded core bit. You want to over drill that hole. So that hole has to be bigger than the grommet. And my personal suggestion is that you use the pipe that they sell with the grommets to drive down through the base material, whether it's concrete base or gravel base, so that you minimize the movement on that grommet.
Okay.
So if you over drill that hole, the outside diameter of the pipe is 1 inch. If you use a 1 3/8 or 1 1/4 inch bit, and when you put that through, there's a little gap between the grommet and the pipe and the porcelain. Fill that with a flexible caulk or a silicone, something that has some sort of cushion, so that when that snow load happens, you don't have metal pressuring right on the porcelain.
Okay.
And that should reduce the amount of cracking and damage you have over the winter.
But drilling slow.
Obviously,
with the right bit.
Everything with porcelain is slow when it comes to fabrication. There's nothing that's fast. As we talked about before, it's a super dense material. It has an absorption rate of 0.05%, super dense. So you're grinding or drilling or cutting a lot of material, as opposed to concrete that has a lot of air voids in it. I think Sean's ready to do some bullnosing.
All right, let's do it.
So a lot of people think bullnosing is done with big fancy machines, and it's really not. You can use a simple handheld polisher like this. The VSP 320 is a wet dry polisher, as I stated before, and that's a 3/4 inch full nose wheel. And Sean's going to show you, it's going to take a couple minutes. He's going to get a full bull nose here, and then he'll just polish it up real quick to give it a final sheen and you can give it either a rough hone finish or up to a really countertop shine. That all depends on your customer and what they're looking for, but we have the options to do it, as Sean will show you.
All right, let's hit it, Sean.
What do you think?
That came out really nice. It's very smooth, much smoother than I anticipated. Obviously, this needs to be polished next.
Correct.
Okay.
And again, we can polish it to a honed finish or bring it up to a countertop shine, depending on the customer's needs.
And you can't even tell what side Sean cut. So it's all about having the right equipment and going at the right rate of speed.
Correct. And if training is needed, Sean, the local rep, will be more than happy to come out and help you on your job site.
Okay, we appreciate that. Again, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.